Around the world, more than 50 million people are dealing with dementia, which refers to unusual changes in the brain. Majority of them live in low and middle-income countries. In many parts of Africa, a lack of adequate awareness, limited expertise, and facilities for early diagnosis makes dementia tough to manage. In the following report, GH1 News' Nadima Umar Uthman puts the spotlight on dementia in Ghana and explores potential solutions to shift the current narrative on the disease.
Tutu, a town in the Ikuapem-Mampon area of the eastern region, 44-year-old Kweku Asantu Maruna Sare converses with his 75-year-old mother, Daphne Lewis Bow. But Daphne cannot keep up. She's finding it hard to remember important times in her life. Sometimes, even recalling what she ate from a few hours ago proves challenging.
What you ate for breakfast?
For breakfast? I don't remember that.
Did you eat breakfast?
Yeah.
Okay.
On particular days, she cannot remember her own son's name.
What's my name?
Andre Lewis.
And what's my middle name?
Don't remember right now. It's like
Daphne is among tens of millions of people living with dementia across the world. The condition, which cannot be cured, disrupts how the brain normally works, causing a decline in thinking abilities and memory loss. According to the World Health Organization, the disease affects more women than men, and it can cause problems for them in different ways. More women have trouble living a normal life and even die because of dementia.
I came and visit Ghana for the first time, and upon arriving back home, I reached out to my mom, and my mom didn't even recognize me when I was explaining to her who I was. My mom had lost about 40 pounds in 6 months, to the point that I didn't recognize her when I first seen her.
3 years ago, before Daphne was diagnosed, Maroon says he noticed his mother acting in ways that he could not understand.
When she drove 2 hours away from my location, she was coming to my house, and she drove 2 hours away, and she didn't know where she was. And the only reason why we found her 2 hours away is because the car ran out of gas. And at that point, we knew it was a different situation, because how can you forget about a place that you visit all the time?
Dementia is currently the 7th leading cause of death and one of the major causes of disability and dependency among older people globally. But the disease does not just affect those living with it. There are other implications for caregivers too.
Anybody who knows me, they know me as an entrepreneur, and they know me to work at least 6 days a week from sunup to sundown. And I've stepped back temporarily from that industrial lifestyle to take care of my mom. I wouldn't wish dementia on anybody. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It's a lot of things you could wish bad for a person. But when a person loses their mind, they don't just lose their mind, they lose their functionality, they lose their identity.
Dementia is a condition that lacks awareness and understanding in Ghana and across Africa. People do not have much information about this, and there's a lot of stigma attached to the condition due to cultural beliefs. Lack of healthcare resources and language barriers also makes it difficult to gather data on dementia. Dr. Dennis Bote is the president of Alzheimer's Ghana, an NGO that raises awareness on all forms of dementia.
A lot of times people have been beaten to death because they have been presumed to be witches, and because of the fact that they are lost from home, and you try to speak to them and there are gaps in their memory. They don't seem to be able to coordinate things well, and whatever question you ask them, they are likely to say yes to. So if you ask the person, are you a witch? Yes, they don't even understand what they are saying. The awareness creation is what is key.
The lack of awareness and adequate expertise on dementia across Africa also means identifying the disease in its early stages is often challenging. Some doctors even misinterpret symptoms as typical signs of aging. Nana Ekia Sarah Opoku-Champon is a senior resident for neurology at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital.
Sometimes it's like good riddance because they go and put their elderly relatives in the hospital. You're looking for medication, for them to buy medication, do labs. You don't find them. God forbid when the patient drops dead, then now you see the whole family coming for their bodies. Like in Africa, we appreciate the dead. But if we are able to care for the elderly more, I think it will go a long way. Dr. Opoku-Champon says early detection and regular medical checkup is key to managing dementia. It's always best to come to the hospital because there's always, medicine is always growing. There are always new things coming up. So, if you present your cases, then you get results. You get treatment for it. And with that, it also helps with the clinicians because the more cases you see, then the more you're able to even do research. In Africa, that's one of our problems. Don't have a lot of research and trials going on. A new drug called donanemab is being celebrated as a significant advancement in the battle against Alzheimer's disease. It has been found through a global trial to slow down the decline in cognitive function. While it does not offer a complete cure, organizations dedicated to dementia care believe it is a new and positive era in the treatment of the disease. Authorities in the United Kingdom are currently assessing the drug's suitability for potential use within the National Health Service. But the reality is that dementia research has predominantly focused on countries in the global north, resulting in a severe lack of scientific information about dementia in developing countries. To tackle this, the World Health Organization in 2017 introduced a comprehensive global strategy for addressing dementia. However, no corresponding action plans have been implemented by any countries within sub-Saharan Africa due to limited resources. This worries Dr. Penamang Appel. She is the Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Authority.
If we have two projects, one in mental health and one in, let's say, beauty passion, people would prefer to fund beauty passion than mental health. We all need to come on board and to support mental health, to support the mentally ill people or persons who we should say are one of the most vulnerable people in our society.
Appel says improving dementia care in Africa requires a comprehensive and culturally sensitive approach that takes into account the unique challenges and resources available in the region. Back at Tutu in Ikuape Mampon, Maroon says the government should prioritize public awareness campaigns and help build the capacity of healthcare professionals, caregivers, and community members on dementia care. He believes this can help reduce the stigma associated with dementia in Ghana and encourage early diagnosis and intervention. Reporting for GH1 News, I am Nadima Omar Uthman.